I started out like this. Junga 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 junga. Chick chick chick.
The Lady G's, the Lady Saws, we had them.
Rude is in court now, boys. Rude is in court.
Talk about dub that people like Scratch Perry and King Tubby, what they did, and that is influencing modern music production today.
The torso is tilted forward, the arms are going up and down, side to side, forward and back.
You know, the original sound system owners, Sir Coxsone Dodd, Tom the Great Sebastian, Thomas Wong.
If you look at stuff like, you know, Sata Masagana, you know, people love the song and love the rhythm.
But prior to that, you had mental music that was heavily a reflection of our Jamaican folk culture.
Rude is in court now, boys. Rude is in court.
This is a story about Jamaica. Well, more so, its unique soundtrack and exceptional tunes. A story about the beats that keep the feet, hips, arms, hearts, and souls of Jamaicans moving.
There is a nationalist movement which is infected by a whole regional thrust for self-determination because, of course, you know, we're coming from federation and those times. So the music, of course, becomes a real expression of the identity of people in the country at the time.
Ska emerged as Jamaica's first major musical movement, with its celebratory sound coinciding with the nation's independence in 1962.
Join hands to hands, children started to dance, we're independent.
Modern Jamaican music can trace its origin to the sound system. Now, the sound system can trace its roots to Tom Wong, the man who had the sound system called Tom the Great Sebastian. After that, people like Arthur Duke Reid and Clement Sir Coxsone Dodd, they decided that they were making their entry into the sound system business. And one of the ways they were able to compete against each other was to have exclusive music from abroad, which they would scrape off the names of the songs and play them so that their competitor would not be able to produce that song. The mood in America, where they were getting the music from, shifted and the beats changed technically. And what happened was that the sound system operators decided that they needed to find a way of getting exclusive music, and one of the ways they thought they could do so was to create their own, and that's how ska was born.
1962, when Jamaica get independent, I decided to sit and write a song of the independence, and that's how I came up with Forward March.
It was very upbeat. If you notice the energy of the music, it was very optimistic. And the anthem for that period, for me, would be Derek Morgan's Forward March, which was a very positive, forward-looking kind of song, to anticipating all the benefits that would flow from independence.
That night, 1962, on the 6th of August, when them was going to have the celebration of Jamaica independent, I was the one on a truck back, you know, them cut off back truck, and with a band on top of it and singing, and I sing Forward March on that.
There was a close relationship between music and dance, and that followed through because our music practitioners were creating songs with movement in mind, because that was a part of the Jamaican thinking retention, yeah, at that time. So we have ska, 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 ska. The shape of the movement had a resemblance of our folk form, of our revivalism. So in ska, the torso is tilted forward. Now there was the options of the arm going up and down, side to side, forward and back. but the overall shape of the movement was very low. Also, the whole idea of bounce, giving into gravity. So there is a constant bounce, there's a constant lowering of the pelvis.
By 1966, Ska had made way for rocksteady, which had now become the popular music form out of Jamaica, riding the waves for approximately 2 years. The genre brought to the forefront musicians like Jackie Jackson and singers such as Alton Ellis and Ken Booth.
I know you will redeem in the land of the black, gold, and green. Another thing with this kind of, it's very energetic, you know. When somebody dance all 5 ska songs, you know, you get kind of so much energy you have to put into it, you get tired like. So I guess the musicians them decided that they want to slow it down a little bit, that people can more relax, you know, in the dancing and thing. So here comes the rocksteady moment, you know.
It was definitely a less exuberant type of music. And some people say that that is reflective of the fact that people were coming to terms with what the Independence Project meant, and they were not as confident or not as expectant as they were a few years before when Jamaica got independence.
My biggest hit during that time was The Train Is Coming. Train is coming, baby. Said the train is coming now, you know. Then comes Puppet on a String. Those songs Moving Away. A whole host of songs, you know.
If we were to identify any dominant theme in rocksteady, love and, you know, just personal relationships, you know, between a man and a woman.
No, no, no.
There was a on-the-spot movement. So the idea was not to cover space, but to stay cool, a sense of consciousness. So the movement was always coming back to center because you are taking control of your space. So it is an undisturbed, cool, the rude boy thing.
It was soon the late 1960s, and what continued as a demonstration of our ingenuity and innovation, as well as a reflection of our souls as Jamaicans, was the evolution of rocksteady to reggae.
Sold I to the merchant ships.
So reggae comes along at a point when Jamaica is now mature in the development of indigenous music. And reggae becomes message music, influenced by Rastafari's ideological positioning. And that, of course, mixes, you know, Garveyism, Pan-Africanism with a certain level of self-determination and self-sufficiency.
This is why the Bob Marley is so successful, the Burning Spears and a whole lot of people, because the message of the music resonated internationally with the struggles of poorer people and people who are having social and cultural and economical struggle.
That period too, musical greats such as U-Roy helped to start the dub revolution in Jamaica's music history, with songs rapping over pre-recorded tracks from classic reggae recordings.
Of course, when we got into the reggae era, the themes changed, the mood, and so too, of course, the movements. We got a lot more of the movements and motions and meanings that we would find at the bubble camps, at the Nyabingi 12 tribe sessions, a lot of swaying, motions with the body, the head nods, and a lot more of that religious reverence in the body, but still in the dance halls.
At the turn of the late 1970s, a new beat was formed, one that would share the stage with reggae, even as it traveled globally.
I mean, she want, you know, see how me cute.
So the dancehall was a space, and then it moved to become a genre. So then everybody, women and men, dance close together and dance and rubber dub and all of that.
Dancehall, of course, completely, in an ethnomusicological context, different because you're getting staccato rhythms now, a faster paced beat. There's a relationship between the two. But dancehall emerges as Jamaica's premier street theatre.
Dancehall and the rise and the growth of dancehall music came about when Steely and Clevie came on the scene and started digitizing the music, so to speak. They started using drum machines to program the drum pattern of the music, and Steely was one of the baddest keyboard player of all times.
So dancehall, as Jamaica's premier street theatre, is the longest living genre, musicologically speaking now, but it also begins to define Jamaican indigenous music precisely because it also is a space.
By the 1980s, there was now a distinct line between dancehall and reggae. Performers such as Supercat and Yellowman were modifying the template for modern Jamaican dancehall music with the emergence of a much rougher style and salacious themes. The 1990s saw dancehall records being dominated by lecherousness and the rude boy culture. But at the same time too, there were songs echoing conscious themes.
So in the 90s, you know you have the fun girl songs, but you're going to have the whole heap of reality songs where project what is happening at the time. Like, take for instance, a man like Bounty Killer. When you hear him, they say, down in the ghetto, the poor now have a thing.
You definitely had the rise of the younger males especially who were hungry and energetic to develop their own personalities and bring forth their skills and career. Right along with that came the movements, of course. Bogle dance, created by Gerald Bogle-Levy in 1992. You had World Dance, which followed up in 1994, and so many others. We went on to see the Butterfly, the Tatty, the Prang, a host of dancehall movements, and with that, the rise of dancehall dancers. So you got a lot more aggressive movements, more bold movements, and of course you got movements that would also reflect what was happening in the general society. As you know, dance doesn't operate in a vacuum, so it's intrinsically linked to music.
But no musical genre developed after the 1960s isn't influenced by Jamaican music.